I got a big...
Check that out.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to the second installment of Muskie 101. Today I'm going to be talking about muskie tools, what you need if you're going to be fishing for muskie. Now, a side note, I have tried to make this video 10 times now. I live right next to a major highway, and there are a lot of cars going by, so I can't really do anything about the sound. I'm not in a soundproof room, so please just bear with me. There are two kinds of tools that you need when you're muskie fishing. The first kind is you need release tools. Okay, these are things like pliers, cutters, stuff like that, something that's going to aid in the release of the muskie. The second kind of tool set that you need are your routine tools, stuff like a knife, glasses, stuff like that. So I'm going to jump right in and show you what all these tools are. Now, if you've watched any of my fishing videos, you know, you've probably seen these before. This is just a set of aluminum pliers with side cutters on them that stay in a holster or in a little pouch on my side on my belt or in my pocket somewhere. These are very portable and very durable. I've had these for like 5 years now. Now, you can pick these up at Walmart. I think I picked these up at Strike Zone in Melbourne, Florida, but they're about $15, $20. I actually have a really nice set of pin pliers that are like these, but a little bit heavier duty should be here today. But I've also got a lanyard on them. That way, if they fall out of my pocket or something, it's got a little dummy cord on there. But if you're going to be muskie fishing, you need at least 2 sets of pliers. And myself, I carry 3 sets. The second set of pliers you need to be long. Okay, these you can see how big they are as compared to my hand there. But they need to be long. And what this does is it creates distance between your hand and stuff that can hurt you in the muskie's mouth. Now you can see here I've got these with the bent nose on them. Kind of see there. And then I've got these with just a straight nose on them. Now, these allow you to get deep or deeper into a fish's mouth or throat without stuff hurting you or lessening the chance of a tooth or a gill plate getting you. So, at a minimum, you need 2 sets of pliers, and at a minimum, one of them needs to be longer because you don't want your hand anywhere near a muskie's mouth when you're unhooking it, if at all possible. Now, just as important as pliers are hook cutters. You need something that'll be able to chomp through whatever size hook you have in your muskie bait and get that hook cut so you can get that hook out of that fish's mouth and the fish back into the water released. Now, I've got 2 different kinds of hook cutters here. Now, these I've had for about 5 years now. I bought these at Strike Zone. That's a saltwater store or saltwater tackle store in Florida, in Melbourne, Florida. And I bought them for cutting things like wire to make shark leaders and steel cables to make shark leaders. And they work equally well for cutting muskie hooks. It'll cut through them like butter. But another popular brand here in Kentucky on Cave Run Lake is Nipex. And these are almost like miniature bolt cutters. And you can find these at hardware stores like Home Depot, or you can get them offline. But yeah, that's what they look like there. Nice little rubber handle on them. And here's the other pair. Obviously, these have seen some use, but they're very functional. I keep them cleaned. I use vinegar and a penetrating fluid to keep those clean and functional. But you need hook cutters, and you need to use these if it's going to take any length of time at all to get a hook out of a fish's mouth. Cut the hook. Hooks are cheap, and don't fool with trying to get out a stubborn hook. Especially if it's ripping and tearing the fish's mouth, or it's in there in the back of its mouth and it's just a real precarious spot to try to get your pliers. Cut the hook. You need hook cutters. The next release tool, and I'll get in depth on this a lot more in another video, is a good muskie net. Now this net is huge by my standards because I'm a bank and kayak fisherman, but this is a Ranger net. It's got a telescoping handle on it, and it's actually pretty heavy duty, and it's got a rubber coating on the net. But this, I didn't always use this. I used to use a smaller net that I used to use when I catfished. I just recently bought this about 3 months ago. But you need a good net, something that's going to give the muskie room to move around in and not hurt the fish too bad. And like I said, I'll get into nets further in another video. Another release tool that you need to have in your bag or on your boat is a set of jaw spreaders. Sometimes a muskie will clamp down on a bait or keep clamping down on a bait as you're in its mouth trying to unhook it. So if you take jaw spreaders and you put it in its mouth, it'll spread out and hold that fish's mouth open. Now these aren't the best set. Obviously they make spreaders, higher quality spreaders, but you can spend as much money on them as you want, but you do need at least some sort of jaw spreaders that are going to help you if a muskie clamps down on a bait and you can't get its mouth open. Another release tool that you need is a set of D-hookers. This is made by Tyrant, and it's got a lanyard on it so you don't drop it in the water. But what this does is if a hook just needs some good pressure to jab it out of place, like if it's just in a spot to where pliers aren't really practical, the hook just needs to be backed out, you can stick it and just boom, pop it out. Or you can reach down and grab a hook and pull it out to a point where you can get in there with the pliers and do it that way. But a set of D-hookers is a must if you're going to be fishing for muskie. Now that I've talked about release tools, I'm going to talk about routine use tools that you're going to have on you every day you fish that are just going to make life easier for you. Now, I think one of the most important tools you can have as a fisherman is a good set of polarized sunglasses. Now, I think these are Simmons, but it doesn't matter if you have a $5 pair from Walmart or a $300 pair. Obviously, there's going to be a difference in quality, but you need polarized sunglasses when you're muskie fishing because you need to be able to see under the water and see those follows. It's going to help you so much. I mean, these should almost be listed as mandatory because if you're fishing without polarized sunglasses, you're missing out. You're not seeing structure. You're not seeing fish. And when you muskie fish, you have got to be able to see when a muskie is tailing your bait. Now, the next tool I want to talk about is a good multi-tool. This one has everything I need on it for a day on the water. It's got a couple screwdrivers on there, flat and Phillips screwdriver. It's got obviously another set of pliers on there, so if I drop all my other pliers, I've got a backup set. It's got a knife on it. It's got a file. I can sharpen hooks on it. The screwdrivers you can use for stuff like if your fishing reel has a screw coming loose on it, or if your kayak has something loose on it. It's just good to have a multi-tool with a good sharp knife on it. Now this is a tool a lot of anglers I know don't keep on them, and that's a set of split ring pliers. And these are Xuron with an X, Xuron, and these are actually a pretty good set I got from my local muskie shop. But you need split ring pliers because you're going to be changing split rings on your baits, whether you have to cut them off or whether they get bent, rusted, or whatnot. And sometimes your new hooks come with split rings on them. These are a must to have in your tackle box so you can change split rings out on your terminal tackle. The next tool I want to talk about is a set of scissors. And not only scissors, but scissors that can cut braid. And I actually have 2 or 3 pairs of scissors in my tackle bag that I keep on me because I'm notorious for losing them. But you need scissors that can cut braid. Now this next tool is more of an example tool. This is a bass set of fish grippers, but my bogas, my big boga grips I just ordered are in the mail. But if you're going to be using fish grips because you don't know how to hold the front of a muskie, and you haven't watched the video previous to this video, which is how to handle a muskie, fish grips will help those people that just don't want to get their hands near a mouth. And again, these aren't the size I would ever use, but if you're going to be holding a muskie with these in its mouth and another hand on its belly, this is how you would hold it. You got its mouth up here, you're holding a muskie belly right here, and this is how you would hold it. So don't ever use these and hold the muskie by the lip and just let it hang straight up and down. Please see my last video if you have any questions on that. But these are fish grips that will help you safely hold a muskie if you don't feel confident doing a jaw hold. Now these are tools that a lot of fishermen, I'm surprised a lot of fishermen don't have on them, and these are files. When you are muskie fishing, or when you're fishing in general, your hooks need to be sharp. If you can't take the point of that hook and rake it on your thumbnail without it catching and pulling part of your nail off, your hook is too dull. And hooks get dull after fishing with them, after running them into rocks, after being in a muskie's mouth, or penetrating a fish's mouth. You must have sharp hooks. So what I've got here is just a regular flat file. I think that was like $4 at my hardware store. And it's been used a little bit. I actually just cleaned it off with vinegar and a good penetrating oil. But this allows you to sharpen those bigger muskie hooks. I've got obviously this big size, but I keep a few smaller ones on me to get in there on like those smaller treble hooks that would be harder to get in and underneath with this big file. But you have got to keep your hooks sharp if you're going to be fishing for muskie. You are going to, I mean, I'm thinking back on the very first year I muskie fished. I think I had to mess up close to 100 hookups that year. I saw a lot of fish that year between the creek and cave run and the river, and I was a mess losing all these fish. And then ironically, when I was bass fishing one day with a guy that I consider a pro, he asked me, he's like, why don't you sharpen your hooks? And I was like, are you kidding me? Hooks are sharp. He's like, no, they're not. And I quickly discovered the difference between a sharp hook and a dull hook. And my catch to land ratio went way up. I probably only lost a quarter of the fish I hooked that year, the rest of that year, because I learned to sharpen hooks. So you've got to have files to sharpen your hooks. Now another thing I carry with me to measure those really big fish is a rollout vinyl measuring mat. Now obviously before you lay a muskie down on something like this, you want it wet, so dip it in the water. But in addition to this, if you're wanting to carry something on you to measure the girth of a fish, I would suggest some sort of cheap, they're like $2 or $3, little pull-out flexible measuring tapes so you can get girth on your fish. Something else I've started carrying is a big garbage bag. And what you can do with this is spread it out on the ground, and this gives you an extra layer of protection should the fish slide off your measuring mat. Or if you're not using a measuring mat, you're just using like a tape measure, you can lay this on the ground, get it wet, lay it on the ground, and your fish can lay on this while you measure it, and it's not laying in the dirt. And last but not least, you need some sort of first aid kit with you if you're muskie fishing. So at a minimum, I keep super glue, electrical tape, gauze, Band-Aids, and some sort of antibacterial ointment or alcohol, whatever you want that you can put and dress a wound to keep it from getting infected. And that's what I keep on me at all times when I'm muskie fishing. I keep my little first aid kit double bagged in some Ziploc baggies, and I put it inside in the very top of my tackle bag so it's very accessible, and it's there in case I need it. But you should not leave the house without a first aid kit when fishing in general, but especially if you're muskie fishing, because some of these creeks and rivers I wade, if I get a couple miles from my Jeep and I get a pretty deep cut, I want to be able to perform self-aid until I get back to where somebody else can help me. Now, obviously, this isn't everything. A couple of you seasoned muskie anglers will, probably pick up a couple things that I forgot or something that, you've learned over the years. But this is the basic load I keep on me at all times when I'm muskie fishing. I hope this video helps you all out with figuring out what tools you need to put in your tackle bag, and I hope it helps you all catch and release many, many muskie. And I look to see you all in the next episode of Muskie 101. Thanks for watching.